This phenomenon, this illness, affects more than 200,000 U.S. cases per year. It's something that affects almost 2% of the general population. The father of modern psychiatry himself, Sigmund Freud, may have struggled with this issue as a young man. It affects all genders, but it's highest amongst us women.
Phoenix. Surprising.
Hi, I'm Phoenix, and I have agoraphobia. This video is intended to create awareness about agoraphobia. What is it? How does someone become agoraphobic? And what is it like having it? If you've been diagnosed or you're living with this disabling ailment, thank you for watching. I'm grateful for your time, and I understand what it's like. You are brave, right? You're strong. And I want to give you a different perspective that will show you that you are greater than this disorder. What God has planned for you is greater than what caused it. Bless you all. There is a growing awareness, and agoraphobia is coming to light with things like the hit Netflix movie, The Woman in the Window. Loved it. The 2015 movie, actually entitled Agoraphobia. And the year 2000, Sean Connery gave us a heart-wrenching performance, showing agoraphobia in a whole different light in the movie Finding Forrester. Really relate to that one. What is agoraphobia? It's been dubbed the fear of a fear itself, and since open spaces creates enormous anxiety, it's also known as fear of the marketplace. For myself, there is an immensely overwhelming intensity of fear. It's bad. That something will happen, something bad will happen, and I'll get no help. There'll be nobody around to help me, and there'll be no escape. They say that it's not curable, but I've seen people recover and live again. And the 4 years that I've had it, I've seen people recover and a year later come out of remission, back into panic attacks, back into that fear, that isolation, that prison, that paradigm. My agoraphobia, because I can't speak for everybody, is severe enough to keep me in the house. I have a fear of leaving my house. Something as simple as taking my garbage out is an emotional roller coaster. Before I met my neighbor, I went almost 3 weeks without taking my garbage out. Oh, yes, my home did smell. Oh, Lord. As someone who has lived with it for over 3 years now, through this pandemic and COVID-19 and all its variants, I can say the DSM-5 description is accurate, but it's so much more than that. Fear of open spaces or panic and in front of others, because for a person with this anxiety disorder, agoraphobia, panic and embarrassment. Just embarrassment itself is amplified like 100 times greater than just like your average blushing moment. And agoraphobic panic attacks they can last for hours. What does it look like? Fast breathing, your heart's racing, heavy breathing, sweatiness, weakness, dizziness, lightheadedness, vomiting, passing out. You might even have an accident, right? I'm talking about urinating on yourself. Yeah, all of that happens to us. And so you just don't want to do that in front of others. Especially strangers. And people generally are not understanding. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who you are, your story, your plight, They don't know me. It's not their responsibility to. And I don't feel entitled. And although mental illness can cause some serious dependency issues, I'm an independent person. So having someone accompany me every time I leave out can not only be daunting to the people that I constantly ask for it, but it's also humiliating, which furthers that isolation because we become masters of avoidance. By the way, when someone has a panic attack, wait a minute, because I gotta say this. I gotta put this out here, you guys. Panic disorder and agoraphobia are different. They are not the same. They often coincide, They're often seen together. They're like a couple. But they are not the same. When you have agoraphobia, panic, and panic attacks, it's just two of the systems that comes with this disorder. Comes with the territory, right? When someone has chronic panic attacks and it's in front of others, strangers and loved ones, we get to see sides of people that are not nice. Okay, yes, there's a lot of people out there that are compassionate. They don't need to understand what's going on to have empathy for others. But it's not something that we are geared towards in society. Society doesn't push that. So we get to see the sides of people that aren't nice, downright mean, and just empty, total lack of compassion. It's embarrassing and it causes panic, not just because of what it looks like, but also because of the reactions that we encountered due to the chronic nature of our panic attacks. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, compassion, guys, compassion. Compassion is the cure. With anxiety already heightened, add to that some sort of other disorder like PTSD. This furthers a person's social withdrawal and lowers our ability to trust others, creating further isolation, causing us to be unwanted and forgotten. See, this is it. This is why I'm doing this. Is this you? Because I'm telling you now, no more. Okay, you're no longer alone. You're no longer alone. So, yeah, PTSD. Woo. Which brings me to the last question. And just for a reminder, this one short video cannot possibly capture the whole picture. Okay? It's to create awareness. But yeah, the last question, how? How does a person become agoraphobic? How does this anxiety disorder develop? Myself, it's several things. One, I have spatial awareness problems due to being diagnosed with ASD, level 1, Asperger's syndrome. This actually helps with it. 2, traumatic childhood experiences. And 3, traumatic adult experiences. I was brutally raped and kidnapped for 7 months. I developed PTSD. And I have all 3 flashbacks, visual, somatic, and emotional. I have depression and eating disorder due to the traumas as well. So having a previous history of mental illness is a key factor, okay? in the development of this disorder. I'd say that it's a key factor. And it's also known that drugs cause chemical imbalances in the brain. And these chemical imbalances and causes disruption in neurotransmitters, which causes disruption in the fight or flight to mess up, resulting in panic disorder, resulting in agoraphobia, okay? But one of the most uncommonly known ways, the least talked about, and send me a shout out in the comment box, okay? Because if this is you, okay, send me a shout out. But being a victim of domestic violence, any type of abuse or controlling behavior, which would explain why agoraphobia is highest amongst women. I've had 2 relationships, and that's just it, just 2. And both of my relationships were abusive and controlling and very manipulative. Let me just explain this, just in short. Our brains have defense mechanisms and protective mechanisms, okay? So sometimes it works for us, and sometimes those protective and defensive mechanisms can work against us. And all that sexual abuse during childhood that goes unaddressed, and untreated. Excuse me, I'm fixing my hair. Most of what happened to me while I was kidnapped, my mind protected me by blocking it out. It would show up in other ways, like bad dreams and bad behavior that had no explanations or reasoning, But my memory completely lapsed from it. I completely forgot most of it as a protection. And I went on with life. I even became a nurse. My biggest accomplishment? I have 4 children, 5 grandchildren. I started a domestic violence shelter program for women who also suffer from domestic violence and mental illness. Not just getting caught up in the cycle of abuse, but suffer from mental illness. But one day the abuse just got too much. And my ex actually made me sleep up under the porch of her house as punishment. And it triggered everything. The agoraphobia. It triggered everything. It triggered the flashbacks, the panic, the memories. So as you can see, agoraphobia is not always triggered by panic disorder. A series of traumatic events can bring it on. And it usually affects you when you are between the ages of 20 and 30. But obviously, okay, it can be developed later. When you get untreated, agoraphobia gets worse. These irrational fears seem rational to us. So it is weighed heavy as a behavioral and learned disorder. With that in mind, a little bit of discipline with a treatment plan and some compassion through awareness about agoraphobia could change everything. If you suffer from this condition like me, you are no longer alone. I call on you to heal with me. Leave a comment right now. Get in the comment box, leave a comment and say, yes, I am greater than this disorder. Remember to help yourself so that you can help others help themselves. Okay? And then you know what? They can help themselves and help others help themselves. And it keeps going and going and going and going. And then we all raise to a higher degree of existence. Don't ever give up, okay? You got this.
And remember, it is not just your spirituality that can define your journey. It is your journey that can define your spirituality. Bless you all. Thank you for watching. And join this community by subscribing to this channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on what is to come.